Being a professional athlete can be very demanding with constant traveling and work. So fitting in a family seems almost impossible, but these NBA stars did. Here are 10 NBA players that you didn't know had kids. Before we begin, leave a like and subscribe to see more content like this in the future. Number 10, Kyrie Irving. Starting at number 10, we have a surprisingly young player with a child, with Brooklyn Nets' Kyrie Irving. He's only 28 years old, but he already has a 5-year-old daughter. Her name is Azuri Elizabeth Irving, and she is the only child of Kyrie's ex, Andrea Wilson. Irving is also engaged at the time of writing, and set on marrying his fiancée, Marlene Wilkerson. No news has come out of the two since he went public about it on Instagram in September of 2019. Because of Wilkerson's relative silence on social media involving her relationship and the fact that Azuri lives with her birth mother, not much is known whether she is a connection to Irving's child. And even Irving himself has kept most of his fatherly relationship out of the public eye since her birth. However, as Azuri has gotten older, Irving has been more open online. An example of this is that he has featured her initials on his shoes during every game that he plays in. Number 9, Russell Westbrook. Next up, we have the 9-time Washington Wizards All-Star, Russell Westbrook. Back in 2017, while Westbrook was winning the MVP award and finishing with triple-double averages for the season, he was also celebrating a new member to his family. That new member was his son, Noah Westbrook. And then again in 2018, he and his wife, Nina Westbrook, welcomed twin daughters, Sky and Jordan. Westbrook is very open online and in public about how much he loves all of his kids and wants them to grow into amazing people. A complete opposite to his well-known aggressive action on the court. Though, as the years have progressed, some of that aggression has gone away. Maybe his fatherly tendencies are showing more in his professional life? Who can say for sure? Though, sure is that Westbrook is looking to continue his legacy with his family at his side. The next player on our list may be surprising in how chaotic his child's birth was.
Here's Harden.
Phoenix in Indiana, I'm sorry.
Harden missed
Number 8, Jason Tatum. Next is an even younger player on this list with 22-year-old Jason Tatum. A year after his draft in 2017, Tatum had his son, Jason Tatum Jr., more commonly nicknamed Deuce. And yet, he immediately showed the maturity and responsibility needed for the job. It's one thing to be in such a public spotlight so young, but to add the weight of a public child raising and drama is another matter entirely. That drama was that his son was a surprise pregnancy, not even from the woman he was dating at the time. At the time, he was dating a woman by the name of Sammy Amos, but the woman whom Tatum had gotten pregnant with was his high school sweetheart, Tariya Lachelle. And even after the birth of Deuce, Tatum ended up with neither lady. Within public these days, Jason is only really showing affection and attention for his son, but he has been flirting and showing interest in R&B singer Ella Mai.
Williams, so they trust late game, so Marcus Smart just
Number 7, Blake Griffin. For number 7, we have the Detroit Pistons number 23, Blake Griffin. Griffin has had a bit of a roller coaster of a career, constantly moving around from being an all-star back to being not good enough for reserves. This only becomes more chaotic when he adds his two sons, Ford and Finley, and shortly thereafter had his longtime girlfriend, Bryn Cameron, break it off with him. And since then, he has kept an almost shallow profile when it comes to his children. This might have to do with the fact that he was seen to be having a very public affair with a reality and media mogul, Kendall Jenner, during the breakup. This only seemed to push him more away from Cameron and his children. However, now he seems in a better place, as he was last seen on a vacation trip with his sons to Disneyland, happy and completely focused on taking care of Ford and Finley.
For number 23.
Number 6, DeMarcus Cousins. Next is an often seen volatile DeMarcus Cousins. For a man who has had many fouls and gotten into tussles both on and off the court, Cousins seems to show his softer side only around his young daughter and son, Vanna and Amir, respectively. Over the years, there's been an almost double-sidedness to Cousins, constantly getting angry on the court, but staying a loving father and husband to his wife, Morgan Lang. It's very strange, almost a whiplash for fans and opposers of the 4-time All-Star, but it is a welcome one for sure. It may not show a matureness for the sport, but does so for the responsibility as a father and a family man. Though, with our next player, we have a lesser seen or attention-seeking type.
We have the shortest coaching staff in the league with Scott Brooks and Mike Longo.
Number 5, Mike Conley. That player is number 10 for the Utah Jazz, Mike Conley. Less in the press and less in the public is where Conley usually resides. He doesn't seem to put much out about his personal life, which seems to work perfectly for him. However, in 2016, that routine was broken, if only for a single important moment. That moment was to show the world the birth of his son, Miles Alex Conley. But as quick as that moment came, it left again as a small bit of drama came from the announcement. Many trolls and haters of Conley came forward to mock the fact that Miles was lighter skinned than both his parents and thus might be the product of cheating. Conley himself was quick to rebuke and squash this with memes and jokes of his own on social media. Today, Mike seems to be content in his family and professional life, staying low and enjoying it. Number 4, Paul George. We have another 6-time All-Star at number 6 with Paul George. And while he may be a constantly good player on the court, his personal life is anything but. And it all started because George dated former Los Angeles Clippers coach Doc Rivers' daughter, Callie Rivers. Callie and George went strong for a while during part of his career, but in 2014 it all changed. It was found that George had cheated on Rivers with an exotic dancer named Daniela Rajic, and that Rajic was going to have George's first child. Things broke off, and George's first daughter, Olivia, was born. George fought for custody of the child, and strangely enough, he and Rajic were together as a couple within a little more time. And later, in 2017, they had a second daughter named Natasha. Currently, they are still together and taking care of the 2 girls as a fiancé. Though, with how chaotic George is, who knows what'll happen next. Number 3, Kawhi Leonard. In the number 3 spot, we have Kawhi Leonard. Like some of the other low-profile players on this list, Kawhi seems to like his personal life and his public one very separated. He doesn't speak too much and lets his actions speak much louder for himself. So it may be shocked to know that he has 2 children. His eldest daughter named Kalia and the other son whose name yet to be released even months later. He and his longtime girlfriend, Kasheli Shipley, continue to keep things hush-hush on all of their household matters, which seems to suit them fine. Leonard will continue to play and move up and up in the ranks with his family waiting in the wings away from the public eye. Number 2, DeMar DeRozan. We have a much more public player with the San Antonio Spurs, DeMar DeRozan. He has been on the court for longer and seems to be more open to the attention, as having a more widely known announcement for the births of both of his daughters, DR and Mari DeRozan. In 2013 and 2017 respectively, DeRozan and his wife, Kiara Morrison, have since been very out for the public to see, even having a duo Instagram to share photos of their girls out and about. DeRozan is not shy about sharing his love for all his girls and the responsibility he wants to show as a father.
Fumes at the end, is that true?
Yeah,
Number 1, Tristan Thompson. Finally, we have at the number 1 spot is number 13 of the Boston Celtics, Tristan Thompson. And if there were ever a more public figure with a surprising amount of kids, Thompson would be it. While it's not so secret that he has a 2-year-old daughter named True with reality mogul Khloe Kardashian, it's more surprising to know that he has an older 3-year-old son named Prince with an ex-girlfriend, Jordan Craig. Since he is so often in the spotlight for both his and his fiancée Khloe's careers, he doesn't get to keep a low profile on the kids, though he still shows love and cares for them regardless. With his marriage to Kardashian quickly on the way, he may be expecting even more from his family duties and may show us even more of his fatherly nature. So, what do you think? Did you expect anyone on this list? Did we miss any? Let us know down in the comments. Be sure to subscribe and ring that bell for more content like this. We'll see you next time.